روح ارجع على بلدك.
Imagine watching a film that is unhesitant in showing the horrors of war. You witness people brutally killing each other. Even little children are being shot down without affection. Or perhaps you are watching a film that vividly portrays a mass shooting in a college, where a boy kills his fellow students with a rifle. Despite witnessing those harrowing and disturbing things in movie, in the end, the emotion that emerges in the heart is that what a beautiful movie. I think that's where the greatness of Denis Villeneuve lies.
Please welcome back to the Late Show, Denis Villeneuve.
Denis Villeneuve, a man at the hour, widely known for his atmospheric, mysterious, yet often intimate stories, a director who has made astonishingly good big budget sci fi films. But beside these immersive visuals and spectacle, there is a Villeneuve who has made films like Polytechnique, Ashondi, Sicario, where he delves into the harrowing realities of world without any kind of hesitation. I have been watching the movies of Villeneuve. Actually, I finished his entire filmography last week. But after watching all those movies, a thought has been lingering in my mind that how can I feel those movies were beautiful after witnessing those harrowing and disturbing things in it. The curiosity to understand this thought is the inspiration for making this video. So in this video essay, we are going to discuss that how exactly Denis Villeneuve used violence that in a way becomes a part of the poem at the end of the film. In Denis Villeneuve's 2008 short film Next Floors, we witness a group of people restlessly eating. The manner in which they eat and what they consume is undoubtedly unsettling to watch. It appears that Villeneuve intentionally included shots like these to provoke a sense of unease in the audience. However, something interesting occurs. Then we hear the only words spoken in the film.
Next door.
Here is a shot that provides us with interesting information. Yet again, it all starts over. But the time for floor breaks decreases.
Next floor.
Each time. In the end, this occurs. When I first watched this film, my initial thoughts were that this is weird and absurd movie. Obviously, it is uncomforting to watch people eating animals like that, but when I thought of it after a while, I found something interesting. Here is my interpretation of that movie. I believe the vivid depiction of animals and their body parts wasn't there just to make us uneasy. Villeneuve seems to be showing how they are being restlessly consumed, mirroring how humans endlessly consume resources from the planet. The waiters politely serving the food seem to represent capitalism, serving us things endlessly, just like the food that never ends. However, there are consequences to this endless consumption, as depicted by the members on the table, falling endlessly, perhaps symbolizing the descent into hell, reflecting the trajectory of human civilization. In the end of the film, the waiter's gaze into the camera feels as if Villeneuve is indicating that it's the viewer, it's us about him he's speaking. After understanding the meaning behind it, the absurd, weird movie become a beautiful poem because now I understand the artistic beauty behind those uncomforting shots. In 2009 film Polytechnique, Denis Villeneuve captures the horrors of mass shooting on a college campus inflicted by a student. If any other conventional filmmaker have directed this movie, we would have seen shots like people's heads are being blown off and whatnot. Filmmakers might have done that to capture the impact of the situation, but Villeneuve doesn't go on that route. He first of all shoot the film in black and white so that he could reduce the graphicness of the situation. Villeneuve first introduces the audience to this girl,
Non, je voulais dire pour la famille. On cherche des candidats qui vont pas nous lâcher en cours de route.
then to this boy, and then the two interacting with each other,
Le cours est dans 15 minutes.
Oui, je vous rejoins.
followed by the unfolding situation.
Séparez-vous. Les filles à gauche, les gars à droite.
Then Villeneuve shows the boy informing authorities and returning to see if the girls are alright. Finally, there is this shot. Which encapsulates the impact of the incident. Even the scenes of mass shooting don't contain any graphic imagery. Villeneuve captures it through shots like these, portraying the perpetrator from the perspective of the victims. There are shots of girls hiding, and the character who is firing is shown from the victim's perspective. This not only captures the horror of the situation but also its ugliness. But the beauty of the film lies in the way the movie ends. The film was based on 1989's École Polytechnique massacre that happened in Montreal, Canada. So the subject of the film in itself is little disturbing, and film also gets little harrowing at times. But in the end, we remember the movie as a beautiful poem discussing the impact of senseless violence on individuals and society. Villeneuve's Ashanti is a movie that depicts the horrors of war and the trauma that passes from generation to generation. It's a movie which gets disturbing and hard to watch at times, but in the end, it's a important movie to watch. The ending of the movie discusses that how can one end the cycle of pain and live peacefully. If you have seen the film Sicario, you know just how brilliant that film is. The soul of the film is the character of Alejandro, but we see the narrative unraveling from the perspective of Kate, a idealist FBI officer
Statement. What do you want me to say to her?
The truth.
who is being put in the uncharted territory. On every step, she encounters a situation where she is being told that you can't go by the book every time.
Are you understanding me? These decisions are made far from here.
We watch the film from the perspective of Kate. That means we see the story through the dilemmas and mysteries that Kate experiences. Even the violence is shown by the perspective of her, so that we can contemplate the effects of violence.
What are we doing?
It feels as if the character of Kate is the eye of audience into the world of Sicario. But the interesting thing that really captivates my attention is the storyline of this Mexican police officer. He doesn't have any crucial contribution in the central narrative of the film. Still, he has a narrative arc. There are scenes from his day-to-day life. We see his conversation with his son
Vamos, papá, tenemos que ir al juego de fútbol.
and his sensibility towards him.
No. Eso no lo vayas a tocar.
Later in the film, we see him coming in the middle of the main narrative, where we get to know that he is corrupt and being shot down like a collateral damage in the hustle of the unfolding narrative.
¿Dónde está papá?
Está trabajando.
Because of those scenes from his day-to-day life, we understand the meaning and significance of that moment when he got shot down. This makes us contemplate the methods of violence and shows us the ugliness of it. I feel this is the beauty and greatness of Denis Villeneuve, because if we remove those scenes from the police officer's day-to-day life, he is just a side character in the main narrative who gets killed. This shows us about the sensibility and the seriousness that Denis Villeneuve has towards his craft.
Give me a ride.
Oh, you're getting heavy.
Villeneuve did same thing in his movie Prisoners. The film was a mystery thriller where two little girls got disappeared, and the story is about finding those girls. One of the victims' parent, played by Hugh Jackman, doesn't trust the institutions and law. So he abducts a mentally retarded boy who might be the suspect and start torturing him. Just like in the Polytechnique, Villeneuve doesn't show the scenes of torture. Instead, he let us hear the sound of torture, the coldness of the torturer, and then the effect, which obviously makes us uneasy and makes one question the methods of violence and the morality of the situation. A helpless father who is in a emotional turmoil torturing a boy. This situation makes us contemplate about our own morality. It raises the question that would we do the same if we were on his situation. This is the reason I think the beauty of Denis Villeneuve lies in the way he depicts violence, even if we put aside the visual beauty of his movies. His film, The Next Floor, feels like a metaphorical poem discussing the nature of consumerism and its impact on us and the world around us. Films like Shondies and Polytechnique, despite being harrowing and disturbing at times, feels beautiful poems in the end, discussing the way one can end the chain of trauma and pain and the impact of violence on society and individuals. While films like Sicario and Prisoners makes one contemplate the methods of violence and made us introspect about the demon or darkness that is present in every one of us.